today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to use color in fashion and creative photography. Hey, welcome! My name is Sky, and this is the first Inside Creative Mind where I make videos to help people to find their voice in photography. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use color to really make a statement and highlight your subject and basically make the color connected with the message of the photograph. I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to use color in fashion and creative photography. So let's get into it. You probably already know that color can affect mood and feelings from the psychological point of view, but did you know that around like 90% or up to 90% of quick judgments can be based on color alone? So using the color the right way can really influence your success as a photographer, and it can really affect the viewer's feelings. So this is really important, especially in the age of social media. So what is color? It's basically light in different wavelengths. And photography means drawing with light, so consequently, color becomes an inseparable part of photography, even if you shoot in black and white. So let's have a look on 5 tips on how to use color to really highlight your subject or bring the mood into the images. Tip number 1, color highlight. Use just one color on your subject to really highlight them and to bring the attention of the viewer towards them. And the rest of the image should be offset by some neutral tones. So that can be shades of gray or black and white. So when you use this combination, the subject will really stand out from the images. Look at these photographs of Vivienne Sasson, how she uses these monochromatic subdued colors and just that one splash of color on models. I love these photographs by Nick Knight, where he uses white studio scene and the red highlights, like in this powerful portrait of Alexander McQueen for the Face magazine. So if you're working for, let's say, a designer or brand and they have some colorful outfits, really try to look for some clean background or some monochromatic background. That can be a studio. That's why lots of e-commerce or lookbook shoots are done in the studio, because you can really straight away see the garment. Or you can even find plain wall or sky, which really offsets that one strong color. So this is the tip number 1. So just use that one bold color on your subject and you're gonna really highlight them, and the eyes of the viewer is gonna automatically travel to that point, and also it's gonna make the eyes of viewers entertained. So this is the tip number 1. Let's move on to tip number 2, complementary colors. Second tip is to use only complementary colors in the photograph and use only 2 colors together. So we are kind of slowly building this up. We started with just one strong color, now we have 2. Now, what are the complementary colors? To understand that, we have to look at the color wheel. So I'm gonna go to this website from Adobe. It's called Adobe Color. I'm gonna put the link into the description below. It consists of 3 primary colors: yellow, red and blue. If you combine those together, you're going to form secondary colors: orange, purple and green. And if you mix primary and secondary colors together, you're going to get all shades in between, so you end up with a full color wheel. The colors on the opposite side of the color wheel are complementary, and if you use them together, you're going to create that natural contrast that our eyes find attractive and intriguing. The further apart 2 colors are, the more contrast they produce. That's why warm against cool tones create great pairs. There are 3 traditional typical pairs: red and green, yellow and purple, and orange and blue. And then 3 modern pairs, such as green and magenta, red and cyan, and blue and yellow. For high contrast, use them in their most vibrant shades. For more natural look, you can subdue one or both of these colors. You don't need to use complementary colors equally. The weaker color can be more dominant in the photograph. Ren Hang never missed an opportunity to put red lipstick on his female friends while photographing them, and many times he placed them to green foliage to create these complementary colors. In Tom Johnson's photographs, you can see that complementary colors can be used in subdued forms. Spanish photographer Txema Yeste is a real king of complementary colors. He loves combining warm tones such as red or orange with cool blues. My photograph from the series Kingdom of Sport for Vogue Italia consists of two colors almost exclusively. Let's move on to tip number 3, tone in tone. If you use just one color and its hues, so tones of that one color, or alternatively, if you use the colors which are close to each other on the color wheel, you're gonna create really harmonious look, really coherent look, and it's gonna look really stylized, so it's gonna be pleasant to look at. Hues of one color will give you a monochromatic, stylized look. When choosing the color, you can base this on either the color of the product itself or the feeling you would like to convey. So you can look at this diagram showing the psychology of color and choose your color accordingly. You can also tone your overall photograph in warm or cool tones. Harley Weir's photographs are about love, sexuality, and intimacy. That's why she tones majority of her photographs to warm colors. Cool tones bring the feeling of calm, sadness, and mystery. That's why I chose it for my project Feeling Blue, which referenced the depression and took inspiration from Picasso's blue period. You can also use colors close to each other on the color wheel. This will bring the harmony to the photographs. You can combine warm colors like yellow and orange and red, red and purple, or cool tones like blues and greens. Yellow and green are also a great pair, like in this photograph from Annie Leibovitz. This is a bit different than what we learned previously, where the color is really standing out and makes that bold statement. This is rather bringing you some emotion or mood. So if you have an image which is much more about the atmosphere, then these tone-in-tone colors is going to work very well for you. Tip number 4, pastels. Use just pastel colors. This is another tip which is really popular nowadays. It looks really modern. If you use colors only in pastel tones, it's gonna be much easier to match them. So if you use pink, mint, yeah, like me, yellow together, it's just gonna create really coherent and kind of fresh look. Another photographer I really admire is Tim Walker, and look at how much soft pinks, yellows and blues appears in his photographs to really enhance his dreamy world. Also Michal Pudelka in his campaign for Valentino combines pastel colors. Tip number 5 is to go all in. So we started with one color, then we had 2 colors, and then we moved to pastels, and now we're going to all in. So what I mean by that is that you can use even more colors together. You don't need to limit yourself just to 1 or 2 colors, but if you use more, just make sure they are in a big blocks, so you're using them more like a color blocking together. What works very well also is to use only primary colors together. Primaries give you that childlike simplicity, which can have a big impact, like in the photographs of Olaf Browning. So if you're using more colors or primary colors together, just make sure they're all in the same kind of visual weight in the image. Great example is shown in the photograph of Spencer Tunick in one of his installations. So let's do a recap. Use just one color on your subject to really draw attention of the viewer towards this subject and really highlight them. Number 2, use complementary colors together, green and red, yellow and purple, blue and orange, and similar combinations, warm against cool colors, to really make your images stand out and create large contrast. Number 3, tone in tone. Use only one color and its hues to really bring the mood of the image. Number 4, use only pastel colors together to bring that fresh look into the images. And number 5, go all in and just be creative. Find your own voice and just don't be afraid of colors. And here you have it. There was 5 tips on how to use color in fashion and creative photography. So I hope you enjoyed this, that it was useful to you. Please let me know in the comments below and give me tips for the next video, which I'm planning in a week or 2 weeks time. I also have a little challenge for you. So if you enjoyed this video and if you find these tips useful, please choose one tip I mentioned and create a self-portrait or still life shot and send it to me to my Instagram. I'm gonna put the link in the description, and I'm gonna choose the best images and they're gonna be featured in the next video and on my Instagram as well. So I really look forward to see your images. Also, you know the drill. If you like the video, subscribe. I don't know how this works yet, but please let me know your thoughts. It was really fun. I really enjoyed this. It keeps me busy in the lockdown. So I hope this helped you, and stay creative.